Hi, this is Professor Mike Strahan from the NMU Olson Library. In this video we're going to talk about formatting references. I've got a sampling of different types of references here. This is off of our sample research paper, and we're going to start off with the first one here. Make sure that your references are arranged alphabetical by the author, or if a work doesn't have an author, by the title. Also, APA uses hanging indent, so make sure that you are using that setting inside of Microsoft Word and also in Google Docs. And also remember that it is double spaced throughout, not single spaced. So the first one we have here is a work written by two authors. The standard format for AP style, as it is with any reference, is think of it as a paragraph, because students always ask me, where do I put the period? And I tell them it goes at the end of the sentence. So you have different sentences that make up this paragraph for each type of reference. You're going to have an author sentence. We have a year of publication sentence. This is for a book, so we're going to have a title of the book sentence along with an edition statement if one applies. We also have the place of publication and publisher sentence. So let's look at this in more detail. We have authors' last names, first initial, middle initial if they provide them. Those are when we have more than one, you have a comma followed by the and sign, the ampersand. Then we have the second author and their initials. We have the year of publication. If you're not sure about what the year of publication is, ask for help. Ask a librarian. We'll be happy to tell you that information or help you find that information. The title of the book has a number of rules that go along with it. First is that it is italicized. Second, you only capitalize the first word of the title, and in this case this has a colon, so it has a subtitle, and you capitalize that word. You always capitalize all proper names, people's, places, things. You also capitalize acronyms and abbreviations. So we have the title of our book here. If this particular work is an edition other than the first edition, then you indicate that information. First editions, you do not indicate. That is the assumption. In this case, this is the first Business Plus edition, and we abbreviate edition. Followed by the place of publication. First the city, then the two-letter abbreviation for the state. If it's in Canada, you provide the abbreviation for the province. Followed by a colon, followed by one space, followed by the name of the publisher. You can't ignore words like company and corp. The APA Manual Chapter 6 talks about other components of this sentence that you can eliminate. We won't get into that here. The next work is a reference to a web page. Now, since the APA Manual was published in 2010, the format of this has changed a little bit. We have the authors. In this case, the authors also had initials, middle initials, so we provide that, and this is 3 of them. You arrange them in the order as they appear on the work. Do not change the order of an entry for the author sentence. Followed by the year of publication of the web page. That's usually indicated at the bottom as an update date. It could also be a copyright date. Always use the latest date. Do not use a range. The next thing is the title. In the manual, the title of a web page was italicized. This is no longer the case. APA considers web pages to be informal publications, and therefore they do not deserve to be italicized. You also indicate the date of retrieval, and in this case, because we have authors of a web page and it came from an organization's website, you also need to indicate from and the name of that organization, followed by the word website, a colon, and the URL. If we had a web page that was authored by the organization, then you don't include the from part and the website part. You just have the date followed by from followed by the URL, no colon. Also note that APA says that you should split the URL between lines. You don't want to orphan a line. And you always begin the next line with preferably a slash. You can on occasion use a dot, but they highly recommend working with a slash. You may also consider using a dash, but that would be for more unusual circumstances. The reason behind the dash is sometimes the word processing software puts a dash in automatically to hyphenate it, so you're not sure. Never end a URL with a period. The next entry we have here, the Brungart, this is a journal article that's been assigned a DOI. Now, there are some courses and there are some programs here at NMU and other universities where the instructor will tell you that you do not need to use there may be some instructors that prefer that for the lower level classes you do not need to provide the assigned DOI or the journal homepage URL. In that case, you would end it after the page numbers here. So we're going to walk through this one. We have single author followed by the year of publication. We have the making of leaders. We also have a subtitle, so we capitalize the word A. We italicize the entire title of the journal, the comma, and also the volume number. We put the issue number in parentheses. So in this case, this is in volume 3, issue 3, followed by a comma, followed by the page numbers. Make sure you provide the entire run of page numbers. APA style believes that you should provide that full information, not partial, not like 81 to 80 to 3. Okay, you want to provide the full beginning and ending page numbers of an article. Next, you provide the DOI. If an article is assigned a DOI, you are required by APA style to provide it, except of course, like I mentioned before, if your instructor or your program tells you that it is not required. And here at Northern, we have that for our 100 and 200 and sometimes some of our 300 level deaf studies courses. We also have for speech language hearing and also for nursing. They prefer to delay learning. They prefer to wait to have their students learn about the DOI formatting until they get into upper level courses. The format of the DOI has changed quite a bit since the manual was published in 2010. The latest format as of March 1st, 2017 is https://doi.org, no W's, and not the former dx.doi.org. It's doi.org. That's followed by a slash, followed by a 10, followed by a period, followed by 4 digits, and then a slash, and everything else that comes after that. It can be all numbers, it could be alphanumeric, could even be all letters. It's totally up to the publisher. This is an active URL. The next entry we have is a chapter in an edited book. We provide the author of the chapter itself, the year the book was published. We then have the title of the chapter. Note that it is not italicized, because we only italicize titles of journals, titles of books. You write the word in. We write the editor's initials followed by their last name. If there's more than one, use the and sign and you put eds in parentheses. In this case, we only have one editor, so it's ed. And it's capitalized. Ed lowercase means addition. Ed capitalized like this means editor. Followed by the title of the book in italics. And then followed by, in this sentence, the parentheses followed by the page numbers, pp period space, followed by the page number run for the entire chapter. Not just the page numbers you used. That ends in a period. Followed by the place of publication and publisher. So we have New York, New York. Same thing, we use that 2-letter postal abbreviation, a colon and a space, followed by the name of the publisher. And this was their official name. That ends in a period. If you happen to have a book that has been assigned a DOI, you are allowed to provide that. I have an example on my APA guide that shows you how to format that. The last thing we have is a journal article that was not assigned a DOI. We have a hyphenated last name of the author, first initial, didn't have any middle initial, the year of publication, the title of the article is Leader Loss. The title of the journal is actually called T+D. It dealt with training and development. You italicize the title of the journal, the comma, and the volume number. It was published in issue number 9, so that goes in parentheses, comma, followed by the page numbers. We then say where the official journal homepage web address is. Do not go to their website, try to find the article. APA does not require that. They only require the official location of that journal. Not the official location of the publisher, but the official location of the journal. Best way to do that is to Google the title of the journal or use your other favorite search engine, whichever one that is, and you want to look for the home page of that journal. You indicate retrieve from. You do not provide a data retrieval. The reason is because APA says that you only provide the date when you expect the content to change in that format at that location. Web pages we can always rely on will change it some form or another. So we don't include that date here because this article has already been published. So we're providing the journal homepage web address, and this is the latest URL of that journal. Also note, no period at the end of a URL. Same thing, we don't put period at the end of a DOI. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Again, my name is Professor Mike Strahan. Thank you.